Good evening, YouTube. Today we're going to do something that I haven't really done on this channel. We're going to play some video games. We have a purpose though. So with that, let's get started. We're going to focus on what we can learn about life from video games. I know, we waste a lot of time to it. I probably spent a lot more time than I should have in Diablo 2 Resurrected since its release. But there is something you can take away if you look at it the right way. About a month ago, Mr. Llama C, who is a streamer, he does a lot of Diablo 2 content, and he also does his YouTube channel. So if you play Diablo 2, you want to check him out. He did a stream where he was doing what he called a quote-unquote 8-year-old build, meaning he had specific rules that he was going to play just like if he was an 8-year-old. He created a character, he had to keep his stats balanced, and he had to keep his skills balanced, basically. He was going to put 1 point into every skill until he had all the skills, and then he could start putting 2 points. He was going to play through the game on normal and see if he could actually do it. And I'm going to show you some clips and do a comparison. Then I'll explain what you can take away from this in terms of your life in various aspects. Alright, so this is what I want to start the comparison. So he's fighting Duriel, who's the second major boss in the game. And he's choosing to use hammers because that's, the most useful skill he has because of the way his build is. So let's see what it takes him to do it. I'm probably going to have to fast forward this a little bit because it does take him a while.
Level 1.
For comparison, now I'm going to take one of my paladins, and I'm going to show you what happens when you do things properly and you do things with a purpose. So this particular character has a very specific goal, and his main goal is to defeat bosses. He is a boss killer. So we're quickly going to go to the exact same boss. Now, this character is level 90, so I'm not going to do it on normal because that would not be a fair comparison. I will do it on hell, which is the more difficult, the hardest difficulty. So you can have a somewhat apples to apples comparison. All right, so let's go. We're gonna go into hell.
Level 1.
with a character who actually is specifically designed to do a certain thing and not just has random stats, random skills. First, notice I can sit here and take a hit. Alright, so notice it took less than 10 seconds for me to kill that boss on the harder difficulty. Now, I want to look at kind of the reason why. And so I'm going to sit in town here for a second. And so here's the stats. Notice my stats aren't balanced. If you view... So the basic rule for a lot of characters is you want to have enough strength to wear your gear, usually enough dexterity to either wear your gear or wear your gear and have max block. In this particular case with this character, I want max block. So I have a bunch of dexterity, and then you put the rest of the points into vitality. Additionally, if you look at skills, this particular character is called an Auroradin. The way the build is set up, you'll see some people refer to it as a Tesladin. I don't like that name because it's not just lightning, it's also fire. And I'll get to what it looks like in a second. Not that that's the important part, but as you can see, I have very specific skills that are chosen. I don't have points into skills that I don't need. I don't spend any time getting skills that aren't useful for what I'm going to accomplish. And because of that, I was able to accomplish the task much faster and much easier. So what can we take away? How can we use this as a life lesson? If you view your skill tree as your education, your knowledge, your actual skills in real life, if you try to be a jack of all trades, which is effectively what you're doing by putting 1 point into everything, you're not going to be useful for anything. Yeah, if you were the last guy around and need somebody to fill a hole, you'll do, because you're there and you've got some experience with whatever. If you've been at any company for any amount of time, you always find that jack of all trades, and they never really go anywhere because they're always just kind of filling in holes here and there. They never actually progress. You need to focus on something. Pick a skill that you enjoy doing or that you're really good at and perfect it. Become an expert in that. That's what this build, and if you look at any good RPG, is going to have choices that you can make. It's going to have skills that you can select. The choice you make as skills impacts how easy or difficult the game is later on. Same with light. The choices you make regarding education and skills that you learn is going to make your life harder or easier down the road. If you spend a whole lot of time learning a skill that's not useful, and then down the road you're trying to find a job, but nobody cares about that skill, you're going to have a more difficult time because now you have to learn something that is useful. It may be more difficult for you at that time because you've got other responsibilities, obligations you have to take care of, so you can't just drop everything and just learn that new skill. Coming over to the attributes, I want you to view strength and dexterity as your work life. The stuff you do to pull in money. You need to pull in enough money so that you can live your life. You can do the other things in your life. Vitality is your health, your diet, your sleep, your exercise. That's where the bulk of your points, the bulk of your time should go, is making sure that you are a healthy person. Energy is your hobbies. You're going to spend whatever time is left over on your hobbies. You don't want to put a whole bunch of time into your hobbies and not have enough time to take care of your health and make money. You need to make enough money so that you can live and have the time to take over. And that gives you whatever's left is your hobbies. Those are things that you enjoy doing that aren't necessarily going to bring in money, but you enjoy doing nonetheless. Things like playing paintball or rock climbing, going hiking, those kind of things. They kind of blend the energy and vitality aspects together, but in general, those are going to be your hobbies, the things that you enjoy doing. Playing video games might be one of your hobbies. If you spend all your points on energy playing video games, and you don't spend any time making money, you're going to have a major problem because the bill collector is going to come due, and then all of a sudden you're not going to play your video games because you have no power. Build your character. Build yourself in a way that has purpose. Find a niche that you enjoy, that you're good at, and perfect it, and make sure that you focus your energy on that so that you can enjoy life to its fullest. And with that, I'm going to close this out by going to the other major boss that he struggled with, and I'll show you a side-by-side comparison of me fighting the ancients
Level 1.
All right, here we go. So this is the Ancients. It's one of the, it's like a gear check / level check on right before you meet the last boss, Baal. And so you saw what Mr. Lamasi had to do on normal, where he was having to kite around forever. So I'm going to do it on hell. In again, a character. The main difference between the characters is he was just doing random stats, random skills. I had a very specific focus on both stats and skills to go along with our theme for the video. And you notice it took me no time at all. The difference is incredibly dramatic. I'll probably have to speed this up in order to do a comparison dramatically. Also notice my merc didn't really get any damage. My merc stayed alive. If you view your merc as kind of your partner, your girlfriend, your wife, to help her develop, you give her the gear she needs, she can be helpful to you as well. In my particular case, she provides a nice little aura that allows me to increase my attack speed, and on top of all the other auras you see floating underneath me. So the main takeaway from this video is focus the majority of your time and energy on things that are productive and will be helpful for you to the long term. It's okay to have hobbies, but make sure they don't dominate you. Also, make sure your work does not dominate your life. Your health is important. Something I learned several years ago is if you were to die today, your job would be posted before your obituary. The job posting for the job that you had would be in the paper before your obituary met the papers. Think about that. Don't sacrifice your health for a job. Your job is to help you live. Make sure you live. Ending it here. Hoping you guys had fun with that video. I'm gonna probably have some fun editing this, so hope you guys enjoyed that video. For those of you who do play, feel free to hit me up and maybe you can join some bail runs or whatnot. Otherwise, I hope you took the life lesson, and until next time, keep improving.